Over the last 4 months, I've definitely hurt my bank account a little bit and bought far too many books. And today, we're gonna talk about them. I do have a few piles sitting around me. I have subscription boxes, books I purchased with my own money. Oh, this one's heavy. Apollycon books, which I also purchased with my own money. There's a lot of them. And also some books that have been gifted to me. Let's start with my Apollycon books. I feel like that's the biggest stack and the most exciting stack to go through. I will let you know if you can buy these anywhere or if they were only available at Apollycon or whatever as I go through them. Let's start with Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither. I just had to get the character art version of this book. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I was excited to get it personalized by her. She did put her favorite quote on it. It says, "Burn so bright the gods cannot ignore you," which is such a stunning quote. This series exists in the same world as her other series, the Song in the Mark series. However, they do not need to be read together at all. I have read the first book of both of them and can promise you that. In the series, we're following our main character whose sister was murdered, and she now blames the gods. She thinks the gods are the reason that her sister died and was murdered. So revenge is the only thing she thinks about, and she really wants to murder the gods. She wants to take them down. So when the fire god appears to her, she ends up making a deal with him in order to take the gods down from the inside. And I mean, not everything is as it seems, and maybe she's a little wrong about her first initial instincts. And the fire god, oh, the fire god, he says some things in here. There's one line in here about like when she's saying like, "Oh my god," during the sexy time, and he's like, "What god are you praying to? Because I'm the only god in this room." And I was just like, huh. The original cover is also stunning. I already own it. It looks like this. The character art, I believe, is available on her website and all of her signings. So, of course, while I was there, I also had to pick up the character art of the Song of the Mark series. Just as stunning in my opinion. I'm a character art girly these days. I used to think I hated people on covers, and now I've decided I only hate people when they look too realistic. When they look like they're drawn, I love it. But if they look like they're trying to be like a real person, I'm out. In this one, we're following a mercenary who's offered a deal by the king. She is the only person capable of trying to figure out what is killing all the people of the land, but the gods are meddling. Not a book, but with my purchase of those, I did get some character art cards for both of these series. Next up, I picked up The Sword and the Scepter novella by Jay Burry. I don't know if you can get these anywhere. You may be able to, you may not be able to. I love that it's both novellas in one bind up and they're just like flipped. These are the prequel novellas to the Crown of Oaths and Curses series, and I highly recommend reading these before reading this. I really liked the series. This is a 5-star read for me, and these were like 3s and 4s. This one is for sure an Apollycon exclusive. It is the Falling into Forbidden collection, and this is a collection of short stories from authors who were at Apollycon. It has Holly Renee, R.L. Calder, Laura Thalassis, Amanda Bouchette, Eliza Rain, Karina Hall, Jenna Wolfhart, and Jen L. Gray in it. I don't really know what the other ones are about, but Amanda Bouchette, when we got her to sign it, told us hers is the first few chapters of A Promise of Fire, but told by the male protagonist, so that's really exciting. I'm excited to read both of these. Next up is this stunning edition of An Heir Comes to Rise by Chloe C. Penaranda. This is a bind-up of the first 2 books, so on the back we also have A Queen Comes to Power. I've read the first book in the series, not the second book. It's kind of similar to Throne of Glass vibes. I will be taking off the dust jacket. Look at how stunning this book is naked. A little naked book for you. I literally can't get over this. Beautiful. The reverse dust jacket actually is really pretty too, so I might reverse it because I prefer this side, and I really suck at taking off dust jackets because I feel like they always just get broken. Like, I'm gonna take this off and it's gonna get damaged somewhere, but I do just like love the naked art of this. It's stunning. Oh, and we did have a little mat that I got with this one, as well as just like a brief rundown of the series. I really liked when authors had something like this at their table. I picked up There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. This isn't a special edition. You can get it anywhere. It was just signed, so I picked it up already signed at the Barnes & Noble there. This is the first book in the Sinner's Duet. They did have exclusive editions of like the duet together, but I like to pretend the second book didn't exist. This first book was a 5-star read for me. It's a serial killer romance. I adored it, but I hated the second book. Who were at another stunning edition. Blood Mercy by Villa Roth. Breathtaking. This was a signing edition, but will be available on her website after her signing, so you will be able to buy this. It also has like this really pretty edge. Right now I have overlays in it. I think I'm going to transfer the overlays over to the paperback just because they're like kind of sticking out and I don't like it. Like, stunning. Beautiful. First bite, bestie. Honestly, character overlays have become some of my favorite things. Ooh, this is a spicy one. I don't know if I can show this. Also very stunning. I love the red foil. I don't typically love the color red, but with it being Blood Mercy, it really makes sense. I believe this one is an Apollycon exclusive or a signing exclusive edition. I'm not 100% sure, but A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark. I absolutely adored the series. It's a lot of fun. I'm waiting for the last book to come out in June, but this is just a fun time, enemies to lovers. You've got a one-horse trope that I absolutely died for, like one of the best one-horse trope scenes I've ever read. You have a lot of fun banter. I really, really like the two characters bantering in this one. I really enjoyed it and highly recommend it. It's so quick to read as well. Really, really like that this has no dust jacket on it. I want to see more books like this because what do I do? As I said earlier, when the dust jacket's nice, but the naked book, like now the decision has been made for me and I have to display it just like naked. And I think that this one is really stunning. This one for sure was a signing exclusive, which is Beneath Black Sails by Claire Sager. Character art. I told you I'm a sucker now for character art on covers. I also love that this one is naked already. I like that the back is just like the outline of them with no like filled in color. I think that's a lot of fun and just like a simple way to switch it up. I really don't know anything about this. I believe it's a pirate romance, which has me excited. We did get a little bookmark with this one, which also has the rest of her series on it, which I really like because Claire Sager's books are part of the Saberverse. They're all interconnected in some way. You will see characters from other books in the other ones. I'm really excited to try this one out. I picked up The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. These are available on her website. She tends to sell out quite a bit, but they are available. She has two versions of The Veiled Kingdom. It has this pretty little foil on it, but there's also a pink one. But the naked book has character art and the pink version has different character art on it. I literally just read this earlier this month and gave it 4 stars. It's such a fun time vibe and Holly Renee writes smut like no other. If you're looking for like a little bit of a bully romance, pick this one up. I really enjoyed this one. I don't know, Dacra just can talk dirty to me any day. It follows our main character who is a princess who escapes her father, the king, because he treats her really unfairly. She ends up in the hands of the rebellion, but they don't know that she's the princess, so she decides to fight for them and try to keep her secret. But the son of the rebellion leader is catching on. Also by Holly Renee, I picked up the Stars and Shadows series. This is an omnibus version. It comes in a little slip case. That's the edge, and then if I pull it out, like, isn't this stunning? There is a painted edge. This was the spine, but the spine and the edge look exactly the same. Then there's like a quote which says, "My brother's betrothed on her knees before me, ready to pledge her allegiance with her perfect mouth." I'm telling you, Holly Renee can write dirty, dirty smut very, very well. In this series, he gets her off using the spine of the book. This one is also a lot of fun. We're following our main character who is star blessed, and she's been fated essentially to marry the king to give him success, and he is going to use and take her power. There are vampires in this as well for anyone who needs a little vampires in their life, and the way they take their magic is by drinking blood. And it's really interesting. There's 2 brothers in this as well. Let's do sub boxes next because this is now the prettiest book I own. It's stunning. It's from Fabled, which is a book subscription box that I hadn't heard of until they decided to do Flame and Sparrow, and I had just read Flame and Sparrow, so I was so excited. It was like perfect timing that I got onto their wait list. This, the most stunning thing I own. Like this slipcase itself, this has a quote on it, and the quote says, "Sometimes what we consider monstrous changes depending on the lighting." The edge of the book looks like this, and if I take it out of this, like, how fucking stunning is this? I can't get over how pretty this book. And if you look at the edge again, I love that it's like purple up top, but then like orange at the bottom. The ombre looks stunning. The back just has this phoenix artwork again. My biggest complaint is that I wish that we had rotated the artwork a little bit. The phoenix just like shows up a little bit too much for me. However, absolutely stunning. And like, this is a heavy book. It feels like very good quality. This is the first time I've ever had a subscription box from them, so I'm really, really happy. They are definitely one that I plan on keeping. If we open it up together, here is what the inside looks like. The book also has some quotes as well, both on the front, which says, "Sometimes we hold on to painful things because letting them go feels like letting go of the person who gave them to us." And the back just has the same quote that the spine had on the case. And then we also have Flame and Sparrow there. Like, look how pretty this whole thing is. It is also signed, and I do like that all the books start with this, with like that phoenix as well. Again, as I said, I wish the phoenix was around just a little bit less. That was January's pick for Fabled, so they are backlogged. They've had a lot of issues, but they've been very nice about updating us with what's happening and keeping us in the loop, which feels very, very nice because not all subscription boxes do that. They've halted their other special editions while getting their stuff caught up. It's been a really, really nice experience with them, and I'm very looking forward to receiving more. I pay for them, just so you know. I pay for all of the subscription boxes. The next one is the Arcane books for December, January, I think. They are Amelia Hutchins. I had honestly never heard of this before. This was just the book box for the time that I got my invite, and so I had to accept it or like go back on the wait list. I didn't want to go back on the wait list. With Arcane, you actually get 2 books, so we get Flames of Chaos as well as Ashes of Chaos, so the first and second book. I think that these are stunning. I love the foil on this first book, and the edges, they both match so well in my opinion to each other. They look really nice on this thing together. Even like this, that looks stunning as well. The spines for you, these are what the backs look like, and we did get 2 art prints with them as well. Flames of Chaos, the first book, looks like this on the inside papers, and this is what the naked book looks like. I really like this edge right here. Here's the back. Ashes of Chaos, here's the front, here's the edge, and here's the back. This is what the end papers look like. Oh, I also forgot to show you like this part. They each have like a little drawing right there. Absolutely stunning. Arcanes also feel like really good quality to me. I like that you get 2 books with Arcane as well. I will be keeping this one as well. There are unlimited skips, so I do like that as well. I somehow got a lot of subscription boxes going lately. I was a no subscription box kind of person, and then I fell into the fantasy romance hole and fell in love with them. The next one is the Fairyloot. This book is very pretty. Lore of the Wilds. Obviously, again, this was just the one I had to sign up with. This is not a book I'm actually predicting to love, but I'm really glad it's so pretty. I'm hoping I like it. I personally would have skipped this if I had the ability to skip, but since it was the first box, I kind of had to sign up for it. I think that this cover, again, is like really stunning. I love the like edge as well with like the little mushrooms. Here's the back, which has a quote on it, and then the spine. We got character art. This is the front end paper, and this is the back end paper. We have a reverse dust jacket with this one, which I do like as well. And then the naked book, which in my opinion is also just still stunning. Like what? I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep the Romantasy sub. When they gave us the reel a long time ago, they were making us think very different books than what they're giving us. I just feel like all of Fairyloot's sub boxes feel like the same sub box to me. There's not a lot of variety in the type of books they're picking. Like they pick books that feel very Fairyloot, which I guess in some ways is good, but when you're promoting a different sub box, I kind of want to see a difference. I feel like this book would have fit very well into both of the other sub boxes they have, the adult and the YA one. So like I wasn't very impressed with it. My last sub box that I have is the Bookish box. Not gonna lie, the Bookish box and me are not on the best terms right now. I signed up for the Serpent of the Wings and Night book. I honestly am very disappointed by this. I did end up grabbing the Fairyloot versions of these as well, so I'm really excited because I hope I like those, because this just let me down. The artwork is just like so dark. It's really hard to see. Like I have a ring light shining directly on me, and I feel like you can barely see the image on here, and like if you're in any sort of low light, it really fades into the dark. This is the edge, which also feels a little lackluster in my opinion, and the back, there's artwork on there. Can you see it? Like look at that. Very unimpressed. The reverse dust jacket I don't hate, however it feels like it doesn't fit with all the rest of the artwork that's in the book. Like how does this fit with this? I don't really get it. It feels like different artists by a lot, and I feel like they should mesh together a little bit more. The naked book just has that same artwork that you can't see anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We have this end paper art, which to me kind of looks like very Victorian style. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, but I do think some people could like it. Like this, like they kind of look a little sickly to me. Oops. But I do understand that some people would really like this artwork style. It's just like not my vibe, but mostly I'm just mad that I can't see the design. Like why did it have to be so dark? Next up from Bookish box is the Crown of Oaths and Curses I got from them by Jay Burry. This is the reverse dust jacket art. It reminds me of like Zelda, so I actually kind of like it. I, however, don't think it fits the vibe of the book. It feels meh to like the book series, but I do really like the artwork style. I feel like it's different than what we get on a lot of books. This is the edge, which I actually do think is really pretty. And then we have like a little synopsis thing on the back that's a little bit shiny. The fates have blessed you with a mate. His name is Prince Soren, celestial heir to the throne of the southern lands, and your union will unite a shattered kingdom. The fates will guide you to him when your heart is ready. This is what the naked book looks like. I don't love it. I don't know what it is. I just don't love it. There's that edge and this, and I just feel like this to like this looks so odd. It like doesn't fit well together. I do like this. I think it's really pretty. I also like the like little end paper that it's signed on. Not end paper, whatever, the title page. I think that this looks so weird. Like, what is going on with like the like, I think they're supposed to be vines, but they look kind of weird. They kind of remind me of like Plated Prisoner more than like the Crown of Oaths and Curses. Like, why did they do something with like nature and stuff for this? Like, nature is such a big part of this book that like I'm really like shocked by how much I hate this. But I do like the like Zelda dust jacket. The other thing that I really dislike is this. This is a book from them and this is a book from them. Why are they different sizes? I despise it. Like, why aren't they all the normal size? Why is this one short? Maybe, does it? Like, it doesn't match the size of the paperback, so what was the point of making this shorter? I kind of hate it, kind of a lot. I'll be giving Bookish Box a few more attempts, but I can't see myself staying on that one. They're really far behind, and unlike Fabled, they haven't been very, like, responsive with the fact that they're really far behind. They don't update us a lot. Like, Fabled is telling us what goes wrong so that like we know that they're trying and they're like really, really good. Bookish Box is just feels like it's trying to get our money. Like, it hasn't stopped any of its production in order to catch up on its releases. I think that I will be canceling at some point. Let's do some books that were gifted to me now. Broken Bonds, which is the Bonds That Tie book 1 by Jay Brie. Emmy Lovely gifted this to me. Thank you so much, Emmy. Seriously, your little note made me tear up a little bit. I don't know a lot about this series. It's Why Choose. I've liked Jay Brie before. I'm expecting this to be a really fun time experience. I'm hoping just to like be able to binge this really quickly and have like giggles and have a good time with this. I haven't read a lot of Why Choose, so I'm not sure I like it, but I've recently decided that I like bully romance, and I believe one of them, at least one of the like 5 guys, is a little bit of a bully romance, so I'm excited for that aspect. What'll be fun about maybe a Why Choose like this is if it's slow burn enough of a Why Choose that like each guy we're kind of like getting a book for. I think I could like that quite a bit, so I'm really excited for this series. The Timeless Trials by A.C. Guess. Jonathan gifted this to me. He also put it on my radar, and I really forget what this was about, but he sold me with like 2 words about it. I believe there's some sort of trial in it. So like, she's selected as the first female to participate in the Timeless Trials, the brutal games meant to entertain the rich. Ray knows that the death sentence, only one can survive the games, but if she can survive a little longer, if she can set aside her dangerous attraction to the prince's brother, she could win the grand prize of immortality. Stuck in a deadly competition caught between 2 brothers in a game of royal politics and tempted by love, Ray must find a way to buy a little more time before her time runs out. That sounds fun. Also, look at this little edge. This was a surprise. I did not know it had this, and I'm really, really excited to try this one out. Court of Blood and Bindings was gifted to me by Tiara, another fantasy romance. Mel gave this 5 stars. Again, fun time read I'm expecting. I know nothing else. They call him the Silent Death because he kills without sound and leaves none capable of speaking in his wake. There's something about our main character being captured by the queen's like right-hand man, but the right-hand man taking her not to the queen, and then like where is the allegiance actually lying and like all of that stuff. I don't really know a lot about this, but Mel gave it 5 stars, so I need to pick it up. A Promise of Peridot, which was gifted to me by Annalise. Thank you so much, Annalise. Again, like, to those who send me gifts sometimes, thank you so much. These ones really meant a lot to me because I read all of your notes and definitely cried a little bit every time I got one, because you just are all very thoughtful, and it is insane to have strangers, like strangers, you're not strangers anymore, on the internet care about me and my life and my little kitty cat. Oh, I'm gonna cry. This is a sequel to A Dawn of Onyx. I gave A Dawn of Onyx 4 stars last year. I had a really fun time. I really need to get to the sequel. I really like this cover. I also do like that it like matches the self-pub enough. It's the same height. It is similar style. This one is shiny, of course, which I hate, but understandable. Like, this isn't the biggest difference, so that makes me very happy when a publisher is willing to do that and make me not have to get all new books. This series has a dragon shifter, Faye. It follows our main character who ends up in the rival's nation as like their healer and is trying to plot her escape while falling kind of in love with the nation as a whole. I really enjoyed it. Definitely pick it up. Again, just a fun time read. And the last is Follow the Giants by Gregory Contaxis. This was gifted to me by the author himself. Thank you so much, Gregory. A little bit. I still need to get to book 1, but I'm obsessed with this cover and the giant dragon on it. I really don't know enough about this series to tell you anything about it, but like, if this cover doesn't sell it for you, I really truly don't know what's going to. I believe it's going to be like an adventure quest story. The last but certainly not least or smallest pile, the books I bought myself. The first 2 are special editions. King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. This is the 10th anniversary edition. I have Prince of Thorns back there. It's behind me right there. This pretty much looks exactly like Prince of Thorns, just a different different color for this. I'm not the happiest with this, I can't lie. I hate that we have a blue edge and then it's black on the top and bottom. Why not make it blue? And I just think it looks very, very similar to Prince of Thorns, and I kind of just wish we had seen a little bit of a different take somewhere. Next up, we do have Never Die. This is also a broken binding edition, special edition that I bought. Truthfully, I didn't love this book. I gave it 2 stars, but the other books in the series that I have read, I really enjoyed, so I wanted to get the series so that they could all match for me. This has like a plastic covering on it that will be coming off. I'm not a big fan of the plastic covering, but it is easily removable. The dust jacket doesn't have any title, which a lot of people hate, but I think is a lot of fun. It gives me like really like big anime vibes, which fits the theme of the story. And then we have the Naked book, and I really like the gold edge. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I've actually read this. It's not my vibe, but it's probably yours. A lot of people liked it. There's dragons in it, star-crossed lovers style. It will be unhauled at some point, but I do think I'm going to try this second book because I'm a glutton for punishment. Between Life and Death by Jacqueline Cott. I don't really know. I bought this on a whim because why not? It says The Gods Are Watching. Solid. For ACOTAR fans who were looking to scratch that insatiable itch, this one's for you. I like a good meddling god story, so I'm hoping that this one has that. Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. I have read this. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's like a YA fast-paced fantasy with romance. If you liked Powerless, I recommend picking this one up. There's like good banter. I really, really enjoyed this. Can't wait for the next book. The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I have not read this series, so I picked up the first book. I really need to get to it. I just like need to be on the know. Like everyone who is a fantasy romance girly reads these and loves them, so like me too, please. I want to know the hype. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This was a DNF 10 pages in, but I did have to put in a haul because I did buy it, but it is going to be unhauled as soon as my next unhaul comes because I don't want to look at this book. I was not a fan. Just didn't work for me. Vows and Runes and Fate and Furies by Helen Schuer. This is book 2 and 3 in the Legends of Thasmar series that starts with Blood and Steel. I needed to continue on in the series. I have read book 2, but I need to get to book 3 ASAP. She loves a good cliffhanger in my opinion. I really enjoy this series. I think that there is a book boyfriend in here for me for sure. I really, really love him. It's a lot of fun time. It's like hot and cold. There is like a lot of smut in this though. It's not necessarily enemies to lovers, but there's like a mentor-mentee, almost a grumpy sunshine, but they're both grumpy. I don't know what that's called, but it needs like something. Like he is so grumpy. He's that grumpy mentor like completely, and I vibed with it. But she's not necessarily a sunshine. The Storm Beneath the World by Michael R. Fletcher. I'm really excited to get to this one. I know that there are 2 assassin schools in this and a matriarchal society. That's pretty much all I know about it, and that's all I needed to know about it. Look at this like creepy little bug things. And last but certainly not least, we have The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. Comes after The Book That Wouldn't Burn. That's right back there. The Book That Wouldn't Burn has one of the coolest settings I've ever came across. It's a library setting. The library kind of feels like its own character as well, and I love when a setting feels that way. There is time travel in it, and we're following 2 characters. It's a little sci fantasy. If you have read Mark Lawrence, you know that he loves his sci-fi fantasies. So definitely intrigued. That's it. That's all the books that I bought. How many of them were there? I don't know, but there was a lot of them. It felt like I was talking for a really, really long time. And if you would like to see the last haul on my channel, I'll leave it right here for you on the screen. I believe it was an unboxing.